In its new 5-year plan announced at the National People's Congress, China set out the goals for its green push. It expects carbon emissions to peak by 2030 and plans to reach carbon neutrality by 2060. What does that mean for China's economic growth? And what do industry insiders think about the goals? I spoke earlier to Jonathan Ha, CEO of Seneca ESG, to learn more. John, welcome to Money Talks.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So China repeatedly mentioned going low carbon in the government's 2021 work report. Now, China wants to go carbon neutral by 2060, but also expects to have a carbon emissions peak by 2030. So are we going to see a big increase in the next 10 years in terms of emissions?
It's possible. Generally, in order to reach a peak and then eventually a downward trend, you have to already be reducing emissions quite significantly. But it is likely that we'll see some increases in some subsectors over the course of the next several years.
Now, of course, we know that carbon neutrality pledge requires a vast transformation of China's economy, the structure of China's economy. How do you think China can really balance GDP growth and that goal?
So I think the key aspect here is transforming energy from traditional energy sources to new energy and green sources. And that takes place at both the energy generation side as well as the consumption side. And primarily on the generation side, we're going to see a transition to, of course, solar and wind power. And on the consumption side, we'll see efficiency gains in terms of how energy is being used by industrials. Speaking of industrials, now the MIT has talked about plans to cut steel output no fewer than 3 times already. So, of course, we know that is going to drive up the cost for steel. How is that going to impact the producer prices and consumer prices? So, over the course of the last 2 years, there was already a key element of the 13th five-year plan in order to create new steel production capacity. And that actually was come online much sooner than expected. And so a lot of the energy that went into producing that capacity no longer needs to be expended, and that's a big plus. And now that we have that capacity online, there is no need for further expansion of that. When it comes to the steel prices, it's not necessarily a bad thing for steel producers, because with a limited supply and ongoing demand, that could actually be a pretty big boon for those steel producers. Now, of course, China still depends on a lot of coal-thirsty industries, but also it emerged as a leader in a lot of clean energies, like you mentioned, wind power, solar power, hydraulic power, etc. What sectors do you think is going to benefit most from this pledge? So energy production absolutely is going to benefit from this. There's already quite a few plans underway to transition from traditional coal and other petrol-involved energy production to new energy. While it is going to be a near-term burden in order to transition to new energy, those efficiency gains will actually make those industries, those specific companies, much more competitive on a global stage. And so areas such as cement production, steel production, and other key industrials will see a pretty big benefit from that. It's actually very interesting that we also saw the stock prices of coal miners go up since this news came out. What's behind that? Well, it's, if this is pure speculation, but it's possible that with reduced ability to produce energy, in the very short term, those that are still allowed to produce energy using conventional methods, they sort of have a sort of special ticket to produce that in a much lower cost, thereby producing, perhaps positive market sentiment for those stocks. But personal sentiment is that it's not likely a sustainable situation. If you look at the long term, 3 to 5 years out, there may not be as much of a positive sentiment. Great stuff. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for having me.